Hi, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Finding Data Friends. We found a new data friend to join us on the podcast, which is lucky because otherwise this show would just be me and Ben, and that would be
I
boring.
mean, also new-ish.
Newish.
may
We've
have met
never met
Mark
before, I'm certain.
once or twice this month.
Don't ruin the podcast. Anyway, Mark, thanks for joining us. Do you want to tell all the people that maybe haven't met you before a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Marc Lelijveld, although you write it a little bit weird. I'm from the Netherlands. Live to a city, close to a city that everyone knows as Gouda. We pronounce it as Gouda, just to be sure. In a small town, 29 years old. Been around in the data scene for, what is it now? Almost 8 years, I think. Doing a lot of Power BI and Fabric related work.
Awesome. I have a question about the town that I can now no longer pronounce, but does the cheese come from there?
It seems so.
So I've been saying the cheese wrong too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but like 99% of this world is doing it wrong. So
yeah.
Hey, Jess.
Okay. Yeah.
We had a guest from that exact same town a couple of episodes back. I mean,
and how did they pronounce it?
The same as Mark pronounced it.
How would you say that was?
Try it, Ben.
Let's get to that data question.
Okay. Well, I apparently don't remember that episode, so where was I?
I'm pretty sure you were in the episode, but
Okay,
let me go back and watch that episode. Will the two of you chat? I'll be back with you. Hang on.
Okay, great. All right. Well, our first question on the podcast that isn't related to cheese and towns that I now can't say is, what is your favorite data feature or data thing?
My favorite data thing. Well, I have to say it changes from time to time. But if I would have to answer that question right now, a bit biased because I'm doing mostly Fabric work lately, but it would definitely be semantic link in Fabric notebooks actually.
Okay.
Mostly because I think there's so much potential in there to automate things, to script things when it comes to your semantic models. So as I said, a bit biased because coming from a completely Power BI background and then stepping into the world of Fabric, I think this thing is so cool.
Let's just assume for 1 second neither Jess or I have any idea about what you just
assume.
I mean,
hypothetically.
Let's pretend for a second.
Did you see my face? Like, what the fuck is
that? I've seen it. Sure. I got you, Jess.
So no, semantic link is basically a way to interact from Fabric notebooks with your semantic model, and it allows you to read and write both metadata and the data itself. So if you ask me, the thing that you should never do is start using semantic link to get the data out of your semantic model again, because your semantic model is not an ETL tool. But okay, let's leave that discussion aside. But
that was exactly the first question that came to our mind. So
of course,
yes.
Of course.
Took it out of my mouth.
Of course, it would be a great alternative for export to Excel. Why not? Anyway, no, it also helps you to automate a bunch of things like refreshing your semantic model, refreshing certain partitions, but even up to a point of scripting your entire semantic model, scripting partitions, adding columns, removing columns, managing your row level or object level security. Imagine whatever you want to do with scripting and semantic model is probably possible.
Nice. I appreciate that you've chosen something very specific as your data thing, because we often have people who are just like, data. That's it.
I mean,
or
data
even
is
Fabric,
great.
Right? It's so vast and wide that it's cool that you've narrowed it down for us. So we appreciate that.
Of course.
I mean, you could have picked something that we have the slightest clue what it does, but sure. I mean,
but then we wouldn't learn, Ben. Look at what we've just learned today. The cheese name is wrong, and semantic link. Every day's a school day.
The cheese name is wrong. That should be a sticker.
Oh dear.
Let's face it, it will be a sticker.
I know you're already doing it. I can see the reflection in your glasses. You're already on your way to the AI sticker designing tool.
Or as we call it, ChatGPT.
Yeah. Other AI sticker tools are available.
now I'm a bit surprised that you're not using Microsoft Designer for this.
So, Microsoft, if you're listening, If only your product was better, I would be using it.
That's why they're not listening.
Let's start at that. So, I mean, it's kind of sad because, I mean, all the AI generators, they're not perfect, but they've gotten so good that for most of my sticker work, I will actually rely on them these days. So I'm kind of missing out the part of me playing ping pong with an actual human designer, giving them an idea and then presenting something entirely different, and I'm still going to buy it. So
Well, I still play that ping pong with the AI engines, though. If I want to design for something, they come back with something like, "Huh, that's not what I asked for."
no, true, but if you're asking Microsoft Designer, ChatGPT, whatever, to create you a sticker, I would say it usually takes you 15-ish minutes to get to something where, like, okay, I'm happy with. If you're working with a designer, it takes at
15-ish
least 15
days.
hours, usually more than that, but even for something simple. So,
Yep.
which on the one hand is super handy, and on the other hand, it is really a part of the fact that this is some of the jobs that are indeed getting replaced by AI. I should stop using that AI stuff. I will use the cheese name is wrong sticker. I will hire a designer for it. There, I've said it.
Perfect. Well done.
I'll be back in 15 weeks because that's about as long as it takes. But anyway,
it's getting longer every time.
Well, that's because we've been talking about it so long. They didn't even have a chance to get started because I didn't even ask them to create something yet.
Ugh.
So, Marc, when you're not pronouncing cheese names wrong and not working with semantic link, what's your favorite non-data thing to do?
Well, you can probably already see on my background, I tend to ride bikes a lot because what else do you expect from somebody from the Netherlands? But okay.
Are
I
you
would
more
say
doing
that
uphill or downhill?
it depends. Depends on which bike I pick, actually.
You got an uphill bike and a downhill bike?
No, but it's. I just have way too many bikes. Let's put it that way.
I don't. No. I don't think I don't think that's a thing. Let's not put that out in the world. I don't think you can have too many bikes.
There is a magic thing to it. It's always n+1.
Right.
You always need
Perfect.
one more.
So how many bikes do you have currently?
2 gravel bikes, 1 road bike, 1 mountain bike, and a city bike.
Okay. A nice collection. They've got friends.
Yeah, of course.
It's like puppies, you know. You can't have one. It needs a friend.
Exactly.
Or glasses.
True.
Yeah, everyone has his
Very
own
true.
hobbies. Yeah. No, for me, it's well, let's face it, Netherlands is boring and flat. So
That's where I was actually going with my uphill and downhill joke, and then you come with an it depends answer.
Yeah, of course.
Rude.
But it doesn't have to mean that I stick to the Netherlands with my bikes. I can just also put them in my car and drive to Germany or to the Alps. I don't care. Somewhere where there are mountains. And that's what I enjoy the most. And
Nice.
that's what I tend to do like every year, at least twice. Even if it's just for a few days with some friends, we go to the mountains somewhere. And well, every year it changes from whether we take the road bike, the gravel bike, or the mountain bike. So yeah, that's why I have all of them. Even in the Netherlands, I would say you can do some proper mountain biking, but there are some decent trails, but they're all human created. So there's not the nice natural trails that you will find in the mountains.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
But that would be dedicated bike vacations, so you would not be taking your bike when you're normal traveling. Like, for example, Joey, he takes his bike everywhere, no matter where he goes. Oh, I'm going there for a weekend. Of course, I gotta bring my bike, and everybody's like, "Well, I'm gonna bring a small backpack." Joey's bringing a bike, of course.
I really feel like a consultant right now because I'm again going to answer it depends. If I go for a weekend away with my girlfriend or with family, I will probably bring my bike. But if I'm traveling work related, I would say it's a bit too much hassle to bring it everywhere. So then I just leave it at home. But there's one thing that I kind of refuse to do, which is renting a bike somewhere else because it's never as nice and as good as your own bike.
Truth.
That's mostly because before I worked in IT, I worked in a bike shop as a mechanic for a bunch of years. So I still do everything myself with my bikes, from maintenance to putting them together. And every bike that I order, like every few years, order a new one. It's never good enough. So you always need to tune something. So again, that's why I just refuse to rent a bike, because you get the shit that somebody else put together, which is not necessarily how I would do it.
Right.
I mean, you could rent it, tune it, ride it, and then return it in a tuned way. Everybody would.
Mm.
Yeah. Cost a lot of time and money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See,
Fiddling with my
that's
bike
why
is
I'm
something I
collecting
need more
glasses. No
lessons on.
tuning needed. And if I need to tune them, I will just take them to the shop.
I was going to say, surely at some point they get wobbly or off aligned, and then they need
What did you just
tuned.
call me?
I think I called you wobbly.
Okay, just checking. My hearing is getting worse and worse these days. So
Mm. Yeah. Well, the good news is that all that bike riding is going to make you hungry, which leads us straight into our next question. And it doesn't have to be bike related food, although it can be. But what is your favorite food?
Could be two things. It's either depending on season, I would say, because if I'm
it
going
depends.
to, I was
I knew
trying
it.
to refuse it. I was trying to refuse saying it depends, but I tend to go to Italy, to Lake Garda every year, summer vacation. Well, there's one golden rule there. There's never ever going to be a pizza that's as good as you can get them there, at least for me. All the pizzerias that you will find in well, at least in the Netherlands, let's stick to that, are not as good as you would get them in Italy. So in summer vacation, it's for me 100% pizza. But I started a new hobby lately, which is the next level of barbecuing at home, basically. So I bought a Kamado barbecue, and I'm kind of exploring all different kinds of meat that I can prepare myself on there. So you could say
Nice.
I'm a meat lover at the same time. Yeah.
That's good for me. It's not good for Ben, but Ben can have pizza, so that's actually very inclusive of you.
Oh, well, I
course.
mean, depending on how strict Mark is with his barbecue, we could also just throw some fish on it, maybe, and then I'm good.
Of course. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Perfect. Or maybe some halloumi. Could barbecue that.
Oh, nice.
No.
Well, lately I made homemade salmon burgers,
Oh yeah.
which were
Nice.
really nice. So it's
So
still
how-
an exploring phase.
Were you using like salmon patty? So did you chop it, or were you actually just putting a steak on a bun, which also some kind of a burger, or
Nope. We actually.
or was it like pulled salmon?
How do I explain this? It's almost like you just buy a piece of salmon, you put it in a blender, you make small pieces of it, and with some mixture of things, you make an actual burger out of it with a burger press,
Mhm.
like you always do with meat as well. And that's what we grilled on the barbecue.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I have to keep exploring new things, right?
Yeah.
Always,
sure.
always broaden your horizon.
Nice. Did you put anything with the salmon to make it stick better? Or
Ooh, for sure, yes, but that's not the part that I did. That's what my girlfriend did.
I see.
So I have no clue what she did to it. But
All right. Unfortunately, Mark has to go. Please bring in the girlfriend. We have questions.
And on our next episode, does she have a name?
Of course, yeah, Kirsten.
Perfect. Now we have a name. Ben,
I'm
get
also
on
pretty
that.
sure we pronounce that wrong all the time.
Probably.
She has been at some data conferences, actually.
So she is a data friend.
Not necessarily. I just brought her as a plus one.
That happens to my wife too.
Data
She's
adjacent.
data adjacent. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. Amazing.
Why has she not been to Grillen or any of our other events? That's what I'm asking.
I think something work and vacation days and time off related, but she has been at Parbia Next Step and to Data Scotland, and probably I'm still forgetting about one or two.
Well, I mean, we can still fix that.
Of course, let's make it work.
I mean, we have SQL conference in February and all that. Just putting ideas out there.
Yeah.
Anyways, cool. I think I'm gonna have salmon burger tonight.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I'm hungry for real now.
Because so far, when using salmon, because salmon tends to fall apart once you chop it or blend it.
I will send you the recipe. I'll find it somewhere. I will send you the recipe.
Thank you. Because so far I just used the whole piece and put the entire salmon, which is also very nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm intrigued by making a patty out of it. With that, I have to go to the kitchen, which means y'all can do whatever you want, but I'm out of here. Marc, thank you for joining us this week. Also, thanks in advance for sharing the recipe.
You can find it in the show notes.
Yeah.
I'll put it in there.
Great.
Nice.
Somewhere up, down, wherever it is.
They're definitely here.
Yeah. No, I think they're here, but somewhere.
No? We'll find them.
We'll figure it out. Anyways, thank you, Marc. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, everybody, for watching and joining this week. And we'll be back next week with yet another friend. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, folks.
Bye-bye.